Okay, so hello everyone. Uh, Welcome ulit sa sa aming YouTube channel, the 641 Squad, no? So today we will discuss about the standard document. So on the first video, we talk about the different types of question document. So ngayon, pag-uusapan natin kung ano ba yung standard document. So before we proceed, please like, hit the bell, and subscribe button for more updated videos and for our new videos. So let's proceed. Standard documents, no? Ano ba ang standard documents? Based on what we have discussed before, that a question document is the first thing to examine. That is the most logical way of examining a question document. But if you have already obtained a standard document, this is the document or kind of document that is needed in order to be used for comparison to establish the actual characteristics of the disputed document. So for you to be able to establish if the document is forged or not, definitely you need a standard document. Specifically, if you are examining an extended type of signature or handwriting or hand printing. So, ano nga ba itong standard document? Kapag sinabi nating standard document, actually, it is used interchangeably with the word exemplar. So, ano ba yung exemplar or standard document? The word standard document is a generic term used for all those authentic type of document that is being used to compare to the matter in question. Now, if that standard document has been used for comparison, already used as comparison to compare doon sa question document, that is the time na tatawagin natin siyang exemplars. Okay? So, these are legally admissible, authentic samples of handwriting. Definitely, the purpose of that is to be used for comparison, no? So, ginagamit po natin para ma-establish yung tunay na sulat ng isang author. Because as we said, that the ultimate facts that you need to prove when you are examining a disputed or a question document, definitely it is the authenticity and authorship of that disputed document. Sino ba yung sumulat? Para malaman natin yung tunay na sulat ng author, we need this kind of document, standard or the exemplars, so that we could use that to compare to those documents which are disputed. So, the genuineness of this exemplar must also be found to be clear and undisputed by the presiding judge. Since that the standard document was known to be a document where the origin is known or it is authentic, it must be obtained with integrity. Ang kailangan natin dyan sa document na yan, kapani-paniwala. Yung pinanggalingan is trusted source. So that we can say na yung document na yan ay mapagkakatiwalaan. Okay? Na pwede talaga nating gamitin para ma-compare sa question document. Okay? So, standard document, again, or the exemplar, as defined, is a specimen of document. As what I have said, the origin is known, and it could legally be used as a sample or a standard so that we have the basis for comparison. So the ultimate purpose of this kind of document, take note of this, is to serve, no, as basis for comparison and to identify if the disputed document is genuine or non-genuine document. Why does standard document will be able to establish identification? It is because this document is original, is genuine, and the source is known. Take note of that, that the document or standard document that you have obtained must be coming from a legitimate source. Okay? So, what are the two types of standard? So, ano ba yung dalawang uri ng standard? So, meron ho tayong dalawang uri ng standard na ginagamit upang ikumpara, no? So that we can use it to compare to the matter in question. Ano po ba yung dalawang uri ng dokumentong yan? So, nauna po, syempre, yung collected or procured. Or, in layman's term, ang tawag po natin is informal standard. Ano ba yung mga informal standard? Pag sinabi pong informal standard, ito ay mga specimen which are completed, no, prior doon na magkaroon ng issue pertaining to the handwriting or signature or even typewritings of that person, no, bago pa nagkaroon ng issue tungkol sa sulat or pirma ng isang tao. Yan ay pumipirma na sa pang-araw-araw niyang ginagawa. Siya ay nagsusulat na sa kanyang pang-araw-araw na ginagawa, no? It is a prior. It was already executed prior to the investigation of a certain disputed document, prior to the issue that has been raised on a certain disputed document. Now, these are also exemplar which are obtained, as I had said, from your records, no, or files, or which are executed in an ordinary course of man's activity or yung day-to-day business natin. Like, may pirma ka sa school, meron kang mga sulat sa iyong notebook, meron kang pirma ng transaction sa iba't ibang ahensya or mga legal na dokumento, maaari po nating gamitin yan upang maikumpara yung sulat na nagawa mo na noon sa sulat or pirma or any kind of disputed document that was arising at this moment of time, no? So, bakit po ba siya informal? So, actually, informal describe documents, no? As I had said, documents which was previously written. Kaya mas maganda po na gamitin natin. At saka, ang korte, the court will be preferred to use an informal type of standard rather than a standard which will be prepared right after the issue has arise on a certain document. Tama po, no? Mas magandang gamitin yung dokumento or mga pirma or sulat na nagawa na noon pa bago pa magkaroon ng issue sa isang disputed document. Okay? So, it is preferred rather than that of the formal one. So, yung isa po nating uri ng standard ay yung requested standard or formal standard. Ano po ba ang requested or yung formal standard? Pag sinabi nating requested or formal standard or sa ibang tawag ay ito po ay tinatawag na Postlitem motam standard. Or in other words, that is after the fact standard. Later on, i-discuss natin bakit hindi siya magandang gamitin bilang standard. So, tanong sir, sa dalawa po na standard na inyong ipinapakita, alin po ba ang mas maganda, yung informal o yung formal? So, i-discuss muna natin kung ano itong requested or formal standard. Pag sinabi pong formal or requested standard, these are standard which are given or made upon the request of the investigator or the document examiner. Why? Why does the investigator will request or will prepare or will ask the suspected forger to write? It is because, as what I have said a while ago, you are going to use that for comparison for that document which are being questioned. Also, requested or formal standard specimens are gathered from the writer wherein the writer is under careful control and monitored condition. May mga paraan po kung paano natin hihingin or i-ask yung suspected forger kung paano siya susulat or pipirma, no? Ito po yung uri ng standard na kung saan after magkaroon ng issue sa isang dokumento, atin pong ipinapatawag yung suspected forger or yung alleged person who execute the signature to write or to execute his signature. Usually, pwede rin natin yung tawaging evidential signature kung pirma. So, yung salitang requested po, ito ay ginagamit generally or it's a generic term kapag tayo ay magre-request ng pirma or ng sulat. Pero usually, the word requested po ay ginagamit sa pirma. Okay? Tandaan po natin yan. Pero kung ang ating inire-request sa isang alleged forger or writer ay sulat, either it would be a handwriting or it would be a handprinting, ang tawag po natin doon is dictated. Okay? So, requested or dictated or formal standard. Sa madaling katawagan po, in the general term, so this is what we call formal standard. So, formal standard ay nadidivide sa dalawang katawagan. Kung ang inire-request natin ay pirma, usually, the common term na ginagamit ng isang document examiner on that matter is requested. Kung ang atin naman pong ini-examine or i-request na mga specimen ay patungkol sa sulat, either that would be handwriting or handprinting, ang tawag natin doon ay dictated type of signature or handwriting. Okay? So next, these are the basic points that you need to consider whenever you are obtaining a standards. Okay? So ito po yung mga dapat nating tandaan kapag tayo ay kukuha or o-obtain ng mga standard document. Unang principle po, so the basic or the first principle or basic consideration is the similarity of the subject matter. Ano po ba yung similarity of subject matter? Okay, so let's read on that one. Standard should always conform. Take note of that. The standard must always conform on the nature of the question, document, or the disputed material. It means that only similar type of nature of standard must be taken to compare to that matter in question. Why? Because it would be crazy on the part of the document examiner, take note of this, to compare two things that are never been the same. Okay? So, hindi po magiging maayos or hindi po katanggap-tanggap kung ang i-compare mong dalawang bagay ay by its nature magkaiba. Ano po ba ang ibig sabihin nun? No? So, like for example, kung ang ating standard, ang ating question document is a copybook form, what we have to request, standards that we have to request are also copybook form. Ibig sabihin po, dapat kung ano yung question document, ganun din ang uri ng standard na ating i-request. Okay? Kung ang standard po na ng question document na hawak natin ay isang handwriting rin po ang ating kukuhaning mga standard. Kung ang ang question document na ating hawak ay isang handprinting, much preferably, dapat po ang ating kuhaning standard ay uri ng handprinting lamang. At mas lalong kung ang subject for inquiry ng isang disputed document ay pirma or signature. So, dapat po pirma din lamang ang ating i-obtain, ang ating kukuhaning standard or sample. Huwag kang kukuha ng handwriting kung ang iyong disputed document ay isang signature. Dahil po magkaiba ang characteristics ng isang pirma at ng isang handwriting. So, definitely, if your disputed document is a signature and an extended signature, you have to also look for a signature to compare to that signature which is subject of inquiry. Tandaan po natin yan, no? Para hindi mahirapan ang isang examiner. Okay? So, tanong sa board exam, alin ang mas magandang gamiting document, standard document, ang requested o ang formal? Siyempre po, sir, ang informal. Okay? Ano ba ang dapat gamitin or ano ba ang mas preferred na gamitin nating standard? Kahit po sa korte, mas preferred ng korte ang informal standard rather than that of the formal standard. Because the informal standard has already been executed as I said a while ago. Di ba? Wala nang chance. You are already preventing or eliminating the chance that the forger, if ever that the writer or the suspected forger was really the forger. Okay? So you are already eliminating the chance that this forger would disguise. Yun yung negative impact ng isang requested standard. Okay? Kasi kung mangyayari na itong suspected author mo o writer is siya talaga yung forger, there might be a chance na pwede niyang i-disguise yung kanyang sulat habang siya ay gumagawa ng isang requested writing or requested signature. So, mas mabuti po na gamitin at mas tinatanggap ng korte na gamitin ang isang informal standard or collected standard sapagkat ito ay na-execute na bago pa magkaroon ng issue sa isang disputed document. So, mabalik tayo dito. Similarity of the subject matter. At mas katanggap-tanggap na kumuha tayo ng parehong standard base sa kung ano yung nature ng question document, lalong-lalo na ito pong prinsipyong ito ay applicable sa mga extended type of writings. Either that would be signature or handprinting or handwriting. So, next. So, another one point to consider is the amount of writing standard. Sir, gaano po ba karami ang dapat na standard na kolektahin ng isang document examiner upang magamit ikumpara sa isang question document? So, actually, wala pong rule na nagsabi na dapat ganito yung dami. Dapat ganito yung adequate number of standard that you need to have. but rather it was actually based on the experience of document examiner. It was actually based on Albert Osborne. It was actually based on Huber and Hilton, no? Sabi nila na dapat ang magandang numero or amount ng standard na ikukolekta mo sa isang yan, tanong po natin, no, how many writing sample must one collect? So dapat po meron tayong 20 to 25 signatures, or kung ang atin namang ini-examine ay isang handwriting or handprinting, inirekomenda po ito po ay base sa eksperyensya ng isang document examiner, no, na mas magiging epektibo ang kanyang pag-examine if he is going to use at least 20 to 25 signature samples. Kung yan pong ini-examine natin ay isang signature, kung ang nature ng document or disputed document ay isang signature. Now, kung ang nature naman ng isang disputed document, lalong-lalo na kung ito ay holistic forgery. Ano ba yung holistic forgery? Ito po yung uri ng isang dokumentong finorge na kung saan yung buong dokumento ay forgery. Hindi po lamang yung kanyang pirma, hindi po lamang yung certain word or letter that has been added or certain words that has been forged, but rather the entire document was forged. Holistic forgery ho ang ating tawag doon. So kung ganun po at handprinting or handwriting ang question document, at least kumuha po tayo ng 4 or 4 to 5 pages requested samples, or kung hindi requested samples, collected samples. Okay? So, next is the relative dates. Ano po ba yung relative dates? So, relativity of the date for question and standard is actually necessary. Why? Because standard for comparison, as we have discussed, must be contemporary in dates. Sir, ano po ba yung contemporary? Okay. So, when we say contemporary as defined, it is actually a document or, yes, a standard document which are prepared or executed 5 years before and after its production. Okay? So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng ating contemporary document. So, 5 taon pababa. Huwag pong lalagpas ng 6 na taon. Okay? Yung edad ng isang dokumento, nakukuhanin mo kung ito po man ay isang collected standard. So, those document executed, like what this is actually a rule, no? Those documents which are executed 2 years before or after the date of the question document is better to be used. Although, sinabi natin na ang contemporary document ay 5 years before and after the preparation of the question document. Yun po yung standard na kailangan nating makuha. Pero, mas maganda po kung ito ay 2 hanggang 3 taong edad. Yung pagitan po nung dokumento, nakukuhanin mong standard, dapat it's either 2 or 3 years before the question document's age. Okay? Pero kung mas ikli yung pagitan ng preparation, much better po. Okay? So, ideally, writing done around the date of the question material should be used for comparison purpose. Sabi ko nga, kung alin yung mas malapit yung edad doon sa question document, that is a document that is much preferably to be taken as a standard document. Bakit po kailangan natin ng ganong time frame. Yan po, no? So, document, this is the rule. Within 2 to 3 years, upon its preparation is better to get as a standard. Bakit kaya? Sapagkat ang tao ay maaring magkaroon ng deterioration sa pagsusulat or sa pagpirma. Sa paanong paraan? Because health might deteriorate, trauma, or drug addiction, or injury, or sometimes disease might influence the person to write. Baka nung prepare niya yung document, nagkaroon ng aksidente. Baka nabali yung kamay or naputulan ng kamay, kaya yung kabilang kamay na yung kanyang ginagamit. Or baka naman na-stroke yung tao, so most probably, yung normal niyang sulat, magde-deteriorate. So, mas maganda, yung edad ng dokumentong kukuhanin mo na gagamitin mong standard ay malapit doon sa date na kung kailan ginawa yung question document. Okay? So, bakit nga? Ayun, sinagot ko na nga, because health might deteriorate. Okay? So, writing instrument and paper used. No? Writing instrument and paper used in the preparation of document may also somehow influence the certain degree of quality of writing. Why? Because it will be strongly advised for a document examiner to utilize same instrument or similar writing instrument and paper whenever you are obtaining a standard. Kung yung question document mo ay isinulat ng ballpen or ballpoint pen, definitely, you as a document examiner, you have to collect also or request also a standard that was prepared using a ballpoint pen. No? Kung fountain pen yung ginamit sa pirma, you have to also use similar instrument. Gamitan mo rin ang fountain pen. Paano po, sir, kung yung ginamit lapis? Definitely, hanap ka rin ng sulat niya ng ginamit na panulat ay lapis. Because, what's the reason behind this? Because we are trying to eliminate the possibility of differences on the characteristics of writing. Kasi depende po sa isang instrumento at sa papel na pinagsulatan natin, yung ganda or quality or yung deterioration ng isang sulat. Or yung appearance or yung tinatawag nating pictorial effect ng isang sulat o pirma. Lalo na kung ang ginamit natin ay fountain pen. Kasi po, kung fountain pen ang ginamit, take note of this, fountain pen is easy to examine on the part of the document examiner. Pero, that would be hard. It would also be hard on the part of the forger to forge signature, especially written using a fountain pen. Because the forger might not be knowledgeable or might not have the idea how does the writer sign his signature or how does the writer hold a pen. Depending on how did you hold a fountain pen, it would also vary the stroke. Mag-iiba yung stroke, depende kung papaano mo hinawakan ang isang fountain pen. So, mas maganda kung ikaw ay magre-request or magkukolekt ng isang standard, gumamit tayo ng standard na may kaparehong instrumento sa pagsusulat na ginamit. So that it will reveal same characteristics if ever. Okay? So, next is writing condition. These are condition actually, either that would be intrinsic or extrinsic, labas or pangloob na impluensya or na nag-impluensya doon sa writer kung papaano niya isinulat ang kanyang pirma or ang kanyang signature, no? So condition, both of the writer, take note of that, relative to the condition under which the writing was prepared, because it will affect the quality of writing. Like for example, if the writer, these are intrinsic factor, no, yung pang kalooba sa loob ng tao, or these are uncontrolled factors, like yung tao may sakit habang nagsulat, like for example, the person was drunk or intoxicated when he writes. So you have to establish first, as a document examiner, what is the condition of the writer when the document examiner, I mean question document has been prepared. Kasi kukuha ka rin ng question ng standard document na may kaparehong kondisyon ng writer nung kanyang sinulat. Like for example, kung ang question document ay nagawa ng writer nang siya ay healthy, dapat kapag nag-request ka ng standard, lalong-lalo na kung ito ay formal standard, dapat similar condition siya nung gagawin niya yung requested standard para parehong quality ng writing. Kung yung sulat na gawa ng siya ay lasing, make sure na ganun din yung magiging condition nung kanyang sulat or niya bago siya mag-sulat ng isang standard kung requested. Okay? Kung siya naman ay, kung ang standard naman, for example, ay nagawa ng nakaupo, dapat nakaupo mo rin siyang pasusulatin. Kung ang question document ay ginawa habang nakatayo, dapat nakatayo mo rin siyang ipasulat. Or maghanap ka rin ng standard na ginawa ng writer nang siya ay nakatayo. Kasi magkakaroon ng difference. The writing that will be produced, which was prepared on different instance or different writing condition, would also reveal different writing characteristics. Lalo na kung meron na mga accidental stroke doon sa kanyang signature or sa kanyang handwriting. Like for example, kung ikaw ay nagsulat sa kotse, similar thing that you're going to do. Because iba kapag ikaw ay sa kotse nagsulat, umaandar, di ba? There would be accidental, there would be cramps on the strokes of your handwriting or your signature. Okay. So next, physical and mental and emotional psychological condition. These are also intrinsic factor na pwedeng makaapekto dun sa momentum ng pagsusulat ng isang writer. So, you have to consider, as a document examiner, you have to consider also these facts. Okay? Same goes with mechanical factor. Ano po ba, sir, yung mechanical factor? Tulad ng, kung yung question document ay isinulat sa isang matigas na bagay, ganun din yung pagpapatungan mo dapat ay matigas rin. Kung yung question document ay sa soft surface, inaccomplished, so dapat the standard document must also be accomplished in a soft surface. Okay? So, requested or dictated standard tayo. So, as what we have talked a while ago, that a requested or dictated standard is used as a standard to compare still on the matter in question. Pero kapag sinabi po nating requested, ito ay standard, usually terminolohiyang ginagamit sa pirma. Kapag dictated, ito naman po ay ni-request na handwriting samples or handprinting samples. So, ordinary requested standard are obtained upon request. Okay? Then, in cases of dictated standard, for dictated po ito, no, yung sulat or handwriting or handprinting, meron tayong mga tinatawag na consideration sa pagkuha ng isang dictated standard. Okay? So, ito po yung mga points to consider, no? But before we discuss the points to consider first, let's talk about the post-litimotam. Ano ba yung post-litimotam? So actually, post-litimotam is the other term for requested standard. When we say post-litimotam, in English, this is after the fact. Okay? Pagkatapos magkaroon ng issue sa document. Now, hihingi ka ng document or pirma or signature or handwriting doon sa alleged suspect. And actually, the court, no, commonly reject the use of request writings or request standard. Why? As I said a while ago, if you are going to request writing or signature, and most probably, if the suspect or alleged forger was the real forger, you are actually giving him the chance to disguise his writing. So it would, as I said a while ago, it will be better to get a standard which is informal or collected standard. Sabi nga, non-request, as I said a while ago, non-request writing is better to use for comparison. And writing that is produced at a request of opposing party is actually not considered post-litem motam. Then, other term ng post-litem motam natin is making owns exemplar or after lawsuit exemplar or evidential signatures. Sometimes if you are dealing with signatures. So let's go with the consideration on the obtaining or the consideration for taking the requested signatures or writings if it is a writing. First is the use of questionnaire. Take note, wag mong i-dictate sa kanya yung words or writings that was exactly the same doon sa question document. Okay? So, as I said a while ago, what you gonna have to do whenever you are requesting the person or the alleged suspect to write or to execute a signature, you have to consider the illness, injury, or any substance abuse that was influenced when the question document was prepared. Iko-consider mo yon, no? Another thing, the writing condition of the question document should also be replicated. Sabi ko nga na kung yung question document ay nagawa habang nakatayo, dapat pasulatin mo rin siya ng nakatayo. Similar writing condition, similar writing instrument. As what I've said here, dapat replicated. Gagayahin mo so that you would obtain same writing features. Okay? It will reflect same writing features. So next, as what I've said again a while ago, replicate as well the writing instrument. If it is a ballpoint pen that has been used, utilize a ballpoint pen. If it is a pencil that has been used, same goes with it, you have to utilize a pencil. Or if the writing or if the signature was done in using a fountain pen, you have to also use a fountain pen with a similar brand if necessary, no? Replicate the writing environment, what I have said a while ago, no? So the paper, the writing position, and all the aspect, you have to consider that in trying to get a requested sample. So if the question document was written under unusual circumstances, actually that circumstances must also be duplicated. Gagayahin mo kung ano yung paraan ng pagkasulat or the condition or the environment surrounding the circumstances under that document or disputed document was prepared. So have the suspect write with both hands. Take note, pag ikaw po ay re-request sa alleged suspect to write, the first thing that you're going to do is determine first what? The dexterity. Yes, tama po. Alamin mo muna kung saan yung adept na kamay nung suspect or nung writer. Okay? Baka kasi ang ginamit na kamay pagsulat sa question document ay kanan. Since na siya pala yung forger, gusto niyang ibahin yung kanyang sulat, i-disguise yung kanyang sulat, gumamit siya ngayon ng kaliwa. Okay? It is necessary on the part of the document examiner to determine first kung anong kamay ang ginamit. You have to determine the adroitness or the dexterity first of the writer. Okay? Text must carefully be selected. Sabi nga dyan, as what I have said way back, that do not dictate similar exactly words that has been written on the question document kung yan ay isang dictation. Okay? Kasi magkakaroon ng chance itong forger na maisip kung ano yung nakasulat at paano niya ginawa yung sulat kung siya man yung forger, no? So, you are giving him the chance to recall how did he execute the writing. So, that is the thing that a document examiner should avoid. Another thing is that dictate the test to the writer and never allow the subject to see the question document. Huwag mong ipapakita sa kanya para hindi siya magkaroon ng idea paano yung paraan ng pagkakasulat. How does he execute all the strokes on that disputed document? Same goes that dictation must be repeated at least 3 times. Bakit mo ginagawa yon? Kasi you are trying to make him feel relaxed so that hindi siya magmamadali. Pag hindi siya nagmadali, kahit na i-disguise man niya yung kanyang sulat, unti-unti babalik yung natural niyang sulat. Okay? So you have to make him relax so that even though he was trying or the suspect is trying to disguise the writing, the writing characteristics will little by little revert back to its normal. Okay? Another one, dictation must be interrupted. Bakit po natin ini-interrupt? Para hindi siya magmadali. Baka naman binilisan mo yung basa ng dictation, hindi niya na naisulat yung iba or hindi niya na properly na-execute. Take note ha, kapag ang sulat mas mabilis, the wider the divergence of the stroke. Kapag ka naman mas mabagal, the narrow the differences or spaces between the strokes. So, kung tignan mo yung question document, anyway, you as a document examiner, you could also assess if the writing was done in a haste or in a slow manner. Okay? So, you have to also replicate such a condition. Okay, next, utilize same instrument. This has already been talked a while ago. The normal writing condition should also be arranged, as I said, na ma-feel relax or comfortable yung writer. Because if the writer does not feel comfortable on his position or whatever writing instrument that he is using, pwede yung maka-influence sa quality or sa pictorial effect or sa writing characteristics na pwedeng mai-reflect doon sa kanyang sulat. Okay? So, that's the end. That's the difference between a requested standard in question document in forensic question document examination. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and watch the full video. Thank you and God bless everyone.